It's about that time, y'all. It's about that time. But it is time right here on the Remix Morning Show. This is Black Power Media. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and the Scorpio season is here. The birthday weekend is here. It's about to go down, so y'all better shine a light on them. Not just me. Let's shine a light on our host. We got no other than Dr. Jared.
Yo, I know we're a little short on the roster this morning, but that's a hell of an intro, my man.
Hey, appreciate it.
That's what I'm talking about.
We gotta get everybody amp out there, man.
I was about to bust
Shine
up
a
out the
light
sea. I
on 'em.
forgot. I gotta stand still. I gotta sit kind of still, or be off camera. About to be. I love it. That's what's up. What's up, people? What's up, remixers? What's up, everybody?
They are out there. Good morning. We got new members early. We got Jamal D. Big up Jamal D. Big up to Angelisa Oliver. Did I say that right? I might have. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
It's a percentage.
Percentage-wise,
It's a percentage.
got most of it right.
I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly the number, but it's a percentage.
Word. So that's what it is. What you got going on, man? How was your Wednesday?
Oh man, personally, so I'm gonna say it this way: our family has relatively speaking, I know what's happening in the world, but relatively speaking, in these tree-lined streets in this first world problems universe, we overcame some stuff these last couple weeks. So we had it's just a run of bad luck. Like within I don't know, within 2 weeks we had a drain burst in the basement.
Ooh.
And then right after that, the hot water heater bust, so the basement is sloppy, soaky, a mess.
You got home insurance?
Oh yeah, we got all. I mean everything.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like everything is gonna that's what I'm saying. Like it's stressful. It's temporary. We had an issue with. We had a couple. I mean we had a little run of struggles like that. But because we are relatively in good shape, we have insurance, we have the resources, it's not the end of the world. It was just some temporary, just like really. And then that happened, and then we had the HVAC go, like all in success. Like it was like, how is this all happening? All like bam, 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 bam. And I mean, and then literally, like I went downstairs, I thought I was going, and you know how you got socks on because it's cold, and then you go downstairs, and I had no idea. So I take that step off that bottom step, and it just, and you got wet sock and wet foot, and
it's cold.
And it's cold, and you like, what the?
Oh,
get on the phone.
Get a house. That's the American dream right there. That's the American dream right there. Nightmare sometimes.
Man, I grew up. I grew up in suburban Section 8. We called Bookman. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I grew up. We called. You know what I'm saying? From Good Times, we called Bookman. Right? Wasn't that his name?
Yeah,
the
Bookman.
Super. We called the Super. I don't know how to fix nothing like all
Buffalo
this.
butt.
I grew. Buffalo butt. You know what I'm saying? It's like come fix the sink. Like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
that's
now
the
I gotta.
thing. That's the whole thing about renting and buying a house. It's like you can rent. And like, yeah, I don't own nothing, but if something goes down, like all that stuff, ring, ring, ring. But when you own a house, you gotta handle that. But you own it.
But you own it.
Is
I mean,
that
or
really
the bank owns it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all a hustle, man. It's all a con. It's you know.
So with that said, when you I don't know if you bought your house or whatever. When you bought your house, what was your thoughts on like, all right, we gonna have this so we can pass it on to our kids later, or it was like,
I mean, that's the thought. I mean,
rent?
obviously, well, part of it was that, and then my wife and I, this was for both of us our first single family home. So that's always been. I know that's part of the imposed fantasy.
Yeah.
But we've never had that. So we and it's nice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all worth it in the sense that. In the situation we're in, so that was the thought. We would have this, and then we do, we are trying to leave our children with if not some added resources, at least with no debt, like no college debt, give him a little bit of a head start with some inheritance. But I mean, it ain't. I mean,
got you.
like we telling them, don't get too excited.
I'm saying, I told my kids, y'all gonna have to get it from the mud. I'm spending all this money now.
And then if anybody, go ahead.
Good thing they grandparents, they got a little money. Their mom got a little money, because I was like, for me, y'all gonna get a lot of experience. Y'all gonna get a lot of knowledge. That's about it. I'm passing that generational wealth now.
Well, they see their grandmother every week, and they see the condition she's in because she got nothing. So I'm like,
y'all want this or y'all want that? What y'all want to do? Y'all better stick to them books. Stop playing.
Like grandma is in. I mean, if there's one good thing about Alzheimer's, she has no idea what's happening. Otherwise, she would be completely falling apart. I mean, if there's any good news from that, like if there's a silver lining with that, but because it's rough out here. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of good news, let's invite to the screen Kim Brown.
Stop.
There we go.
Stop.
There we go. Hair out of place. I love it.
Ear doctor. You reminded me yesterday because you said something about my hair, and I'm like, yo, niggas been bombing on my hair for at least 30 years, dog.
Damn.
Like since middle school. And y'all just need to understand, I refuse. I'm not gonna do it.
I love it.
It's not gonna get done. It'll get done when it gets maintained and trimmed. Aside from that,
it's done.
No.
It is done. You woke up and it was done.
I'm gonna knock you out. My mama said. My mama said.
Thank you, brother Jamil.
Appreciate
you, Mama Arnett. Yeah.
Jeez.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. How y'all feeling this morning, fellas?
I'm good. But ear doctor, I know you said you got to dip early. Mm-hmm. So it's about to be one of them mornings. But before you go, I am glad that you and Kim are here, because I saw. So if we can just real quick, Erica had laced this for us yesterday, and I had missed this story, but I want to bring this up while you both are here. How excited! No, this is potentially good news that Andre 3000 is coming out with a new album.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of excitement around that, and I think it drops today or tomorrow. Maybe
this just messed my first breakup, but let's talk about it.
Oh,
my bad. Oh, my bad.
It's all good.
We can stop. No, I had no idea.
No, let's talk while we here. We got a couple minutes.
Go ahead.
I'm glad that he's doing something different, because I mean, once you think about it, I was talking to the kids yesterday. I was like, you got to have certain elements to make it nowadays in music. You got to talk about violence, disrespecting women or men, talk about what clothes you got on, and talk about how much money you got. So I was like, these are the elements in a lot of songs nowadays that's coming out. Once you step back from it and you listen to other types of music and worldly music, you start hearing love. It's no love in the music right now. It's no real love. So it's like, where do I find love? And I think with this album right here, he's like, let me help align some people's chakras. They know my name. They're going to purchase it. Let me play some other music that's actually not damaging our people. That's what I thought. You, Kim?
So I don't know anything about this project, the release of this project, the premise behind this project, who produced this project, who's guested and featured on this project. I mean, I need way more details.
Nobody.
Well, good. I mean, listen, Dre 3000. I mean, but this is a legitimate thing. I'm sorry. Like, you have to forgive me. I'm a bit of a perennial skeptic when it comes to certain artists making, solo albums after decades of demands from the fans. So is this actually a thing, or is this some shit that the internet has started again?
No, this is a thing. So it's being reported all over the place, and I saw what's his name, Fantano, the busiest music nerd video, where he talked about the that this is, somewhat what you said here, Doctor. It's the track list is on the screen now. It does have guest appearances, but I think it's not a hip hop album, or it's certainly not a traditional hip hop album or rap album.
I mean,
It's
neither
gonna
was
be
the Love
very
Below. Like the Love Below
well.
was absolutely not a rap album. For those who remember, Outkast and Dre 3000 solo. His half of that album, Love Below, Speaker Fox, but Love Below wasn't a rap album.
He said no bars on this album, no spitting.
Yeah, so to my point, that goes beyond even that last offering there, because I don't know that. I'm not saying you're wrong, Kim, but I don't know that a lot of people would agree or accept that it's fully not a hip hop or a rap album in the same way maybe like Lauryn Hill's Miseducation is sometimes.
No, we can count them. We can
but
count
he had
them up,
bars
the
on
songs that he was actually rapping on.
I
there was not a lot of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know, but my point is this album is apparently going to have even less than that, is really what I'm saying. It's a departure from even that. And I still don't think when people think of that album that they think of it as a non-rap album. They may think of it as a different rap album or an eclectic album, but I don't know that people fully categorize it out. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just talking about the way
I'm not
it
wrong,
seems to
baby.
All right, Kim.
People
So,
be
Kim,
mistaken
I feel
about a lot of
okay,
things.
let me just
when
move
it
on
comes to
because
rap.
Kim, I feel like we're doing a thing where you want to have an argument that I'm not having. And
Whoa,
you're not hearing what I'm
simmer
saying.
down, bro.
So
No,
I'm
there's no
perfectly-
argument.
no,
We're not
Kim,
arguing.
I know, Kim, because you're not listening to what I'm saying, so I'm just going to move on. And I'm perfectly simmered.
Yikes.
I just feel like there's no yikes. It's just
Woo,
you're not hearing me.
It's early. Let's early. Let me sit up here in my chair a little bit.
Okay, you do that. And then here's the track list that I was trying to show here. I swear I really want to make a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time is the name of the first track. The slang word P rolls off the tongue far better than ease than the proper word vagina. Do you agree?
These are song titles. Wow.
That night in Hawaii, when I turned into a panther and started making those low register purring tones that I couldn't control, shit was wild.
Okay.
Bipolar disorder's daughter wears a 3000 button down embroidered. 93 till infinity and Beyonce. Gandhi, Dalai Lama, your Lord and Savior JC, Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy. Ants to you, gods to who? And then lastly, dreams once buried beneath the dungeon floor slowly sprout into undying gardens.
Wow.
So, and apparently it's going to have no bars, no traditional, what we would consider anything of a traditional production behind it. And I just was curious what you all had heard and thought.
I'm like I said, I'm not looking at a hip hop album. I'm looking at an experimental album, just like how Common did the Electric Circus, how Pete Rock did an instrumental album. It's not going to be your regular, and I'm not looking at hip hop, so I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm just going to take a listen, and probably listen to something else.
I think Ricky is sharing Kim's skepticism.
I mean, listen. I mean, I don't have anything to be skeptical about. Like Dre 3000 has been really clear about a lack of desire to make a rap album. Like he has been explicit really about that for some time.
Not about it being a rap album. About what you said about you were skeptical of artists coming back after hiatuses.
It's not so
music.
much. I'm not so much skeptical about that either, because one of my faves, Sade, only makes an album once every 10 years, right? So
I thought that's what you said. I'm sorry. I thought that's actually what you said. So I misunderstood you. I misheard you. I thought that's what you just said, and then I meant saying it's some weirdo shit. So I thought she was agreeing.
No. It's just that again, sort of sharing Ear Doctor's sentiments here. Like if you're expecting a rap album, you're not going to get that. But if you were expecting the Love Below to be a rap album, you would have been mistaken, right? Like people can clearly objectively go back to Love Below and hear it's not a rap album, right? So if this is even more of a departure away from rap than that, I'm not surprised, because Andre has shown no interest in making a solo rap record. So this is just a further continuation and the latest offering of that very deliberate sentiment that he has been putting out in the world for a long time now. So if anybody's expecting Dre 3000 bars, don't, because
Forget about it.
you're gonna be disappointed. But if you want to hear some, like Air Doctor said, this nigga trying to do his best Prince or whatever the fuck he's doing, his weirdo D'Angelo, go for it.
I'll leave that man. Don't call him a
What's a
weirdo just because
spliff?
he's doing just because he's doing a different type of album. Let that man do his little jazz flute album.
I love. Come on now. It's Outkast and Redman for me always.
Aight.
But to that end, I will support Andre in all of his artistic efforts because he's given enough as a rapper. He's given plenty. He's given way more than a lot of folks as a rapper. So let him do his little experimental thing.
That's right. Don't put him in that box. And with that said, we're gonna go ahead and take our first break right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Get it.
Tell me what to go. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And yes, you are tuned into the best morning show on the planet. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also go to patreon.com and leave some change over there and become a member. That way you can get some footage that's not over here. All right, so since we already going this way, 50 years of hip hop, we got some elder statesmen coming in the game right now, about to drop albums tomorrow. New albums tomorrow. Who are we going to talk about first? We got them boys coming straight out of ATL in New Orleans. That's right. Welcome to Cali Grove. That's their new album coming out tomorrow. Is a continuation of Cali Grove, the first album. So they got back together in the studio and said, yo, let's bless them. And they coming back again. So we're going to see how these elder statesmen come through on this album. All right, let's take it to the West Coast. As you can hear right now, E40. That's right. He got a new album called Rule of Thumb coming out tomorrow. My boy, as you can see, I did an interview with Rick Rock. He did 5 tracks on his new album. So go check that out. E40. And last but not least, as we just talked about, we got Andre 3000 coming through with a new album called New Blue Sun, where he's going to be playing that flute. And he's going to be concentrating on the higher chakras that exist in your body. Not the root chakra that you hear all this 808 bass music that vibrates, but more of a higher one that's going to hit you in your throat chakra, hit you in your crown chakra, all them different higher chakras and all that energy pool stuff I'll be talking. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the crew right here on the Remix Morning Show. You know how we do. Tell me when to go. Not impressed.
No, honestly, I have no, I can't even speak on it. I've not listened to either one of them really ever. So I know that they're big. I know that they're, not unimportant.
Wayne. Well, I would say I'm glad to see these elders in the game still, especially E40. He's been in the game for so long and still doing it. And I'm hoping, like I said, he don't have to stick to, I gotta have this on the album. I gotta have this on the album just to sell. He's at a place where he could do whatever he want, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen on these albums. Lil Wayne,
I don't know.
2 Chainz, they probably gonna stick to the script, pretty much. So
the thing I have to keep coming back to when I think of Lil Wayne and that whole crew down there is that my perspective on them changed. I'll admit this after years ago, before Katrina and all of that, visiting a friend, seeing a little bit of the neighborhoods that they all come from. And I will admit that I wasn't really unprepared, but I was underprepared for the differences in the forms of the poverty from that differ between the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast to those parts of Louisiana and some of those other parts in the South. And when I saw the Memphimina projects and all of it, I was just like, man. So I almost, it's like I can't even negatively comment on anything anything that they do or say, because
Yeah.
I'm like, if that had been me, I would have said and done whatever to get out of there too. I mean, it was so I but that said, other than understanding the importance, particularly Lil Wayne has had to these last few generations.
And Lil Wayne floated on the last Nas album. This song he did on Nas album. I mean, I was like, okay, Lil Wayne is back, because it was a while when Lil Wayne was just spitting. I was like, but
I was seeing more of his interview clips where he seemed to be on something over the, for the, like I would see more of those than I've heard his music. So I just
people asking where Kim at. She just texted me and says she had a little problem with a dog. She had to go handle it real quick. She'd be right back. So she, that's the thing with dogs.
Have I not listened to No Ceiling? I have not listened to No Ceilings, Elon. Sorry, I have not.
Oh yeah, and then his mixtapes. But like I said, man, it's the elders coming back, still doing their thing. Like I said, I hope even with this whole D1 conversation about being accountable now that you older in the game, are you still gonna be spitting the same stuff that you spit before? Is it an elevation in your lyrics or what?
Do you hear older rappers doing that?
Yeah. I seen the first one I really seen, well, not first, but one that surprised me, and I was like, about time, was Jay-Z with the 444 album. Really? It was like, all right, let me not talk about the regular things. Let me talk about my growth as a human being. Let me talk about being married. Let me talk about my kids. Then he turned around and did an album with his wife. And then now, even in the interview with Gail, he's like, I'm not just going to drop music to drop music. I'm going to make sure it has some type of message in it. I'm not here just to drop music, because I've done all that before. So I think they know, like, listen, don't nobody want to hear that same stuff from you. You're elder now. You're
But I don't get that. When I listen to 444 and a few, for instance, isolated tracks here and there from Snoop and other people from my age group, I don't hear that. So Jay-Z to me has always been a mature, thoughtful, very skilled MC. So all that I heard in the change was that he went from making money off the streets and then making money off of music to actually being a billionaire. And so, but I don't hear, so in other words, it was an elevation of the same nonsensical analysis and approach now from an even bigger boss. Like it was the same, I messed up and cheated on my wife. I'm begging you to have you back. I still have more money than everybody else. I mean, it was the same.
I would listen to it again if I was you, because it was stories on there, especially about his mom having to deal with that situation.
But he's always had those stories, though. Even back on the Blue, he's talking about his father, all of that, though. He's always had those stories.
He got a little more in depth with these stories, as in like, all right, let me dive into my personal life right here. That's why I was like, okay, now you're talking. Before I was like, all right, we're gonna hear another, blueprint, that blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Okay. So hopefully we will see. I hope this D1 guy put it out there, and a lot of these people gonna be like, you know what? Let me step my game up. Let me not worry about selling, especially when you're on these independent labels at some more. You got the opportunity to do what you want to do instead of just doing what the record companies want you to do. So
well, let me double down on with the apparent mistake some in the chat think I'm making. One, I wasn't commenting on Lil Wayne's lyrical skills, so I'm not doubting that. All I'm saying is I haven't listened. It's not to hate, it's just I haven't listened. But when I did go and check out these last few offerings from Nas, and what's his name of this producer he's been working with?
Hit Boy.
I'm not getting all the praise that he's been getting. Like, this is supposed to have been his comeback series. And I'm not hearing this, to your point, this elevation of
I didn't hear it on Nas. I didn't hear it on Nas album. I ain't gonna front.
You didn't either. Okay, so I'm not alone on that one. Okay, I thought for sure. Okay.
He didn't get really in depth and like breaking down like community, what's going on in society, blah blah blah. He pretty much just floated on beats and gave us good rhyming.
Okay, so all right. I thought for sure I was about to get.
Well,
okay,
that's what it is. With that said, I got to get ready to get out of here. I got to
teach the kids about health.
Yes.
Beautiful. What's today's lesson here, Doctor?
Well, today's lesson is going to be on storytelling. We're going to talk about I'm gonna play some of this music they listen to now with the violence in it, and basically take the beat out, let them listen to the lyrics, see the disrespect, see the violence, see the uh, braggadocious stuff, but then show them like Slick Rick play children's stories. Show them how you can also have a story that's talking about violence, but then at the end show what happens when you deal with violence, like how the kid gets locked up. You know what I'm saying? So it had the repercussions. So be more. I'm saying you could be more creative than just talk about killing people. And if you are, let it have like something that happens to the end, so you can get a message from it. So I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play some other older stuff that they could be like, all right, well, I'm gonna listen to it. So it's gonna be a music class today.
I mean, I don't really think the music is more violent, more braggadocious, more materialistic than it ever was. Like, I mean, like you said, Children's Story is one example, but Slick Rick also had Treat Her Like a Prostitute
Yeah.
and Lick the Balls on that
Mhm.
album. So it's not like, you know what I mean? So it's not like all the older music was, upholding these principles of not disrespecting women and not talking about
Nah,
violence.
I'm
So
not.
like,
Yeah,
what's
I'm not
do they
saying
call-
that.
do-
I'm
do
saying they have variety. Like we could go to MC
Yeah,
Light's whole
I would
album
agree with
talking about her boyfriend being on crack and how it was a bad thing, but at the same time she removed herself from the situation of being with him after all this. So that's dealing with abuse in the home. Some people
Mhm.
stay around even though they know the person that they with is messed up. So it allows me to talk about certain different things and we can have a conversation about it. So that's what it is. That's the type of education, health education I'm doing. In case y'all wanted to know, that is what we're doing. And it's talking about music, stress control, and different things like that.
I'll
All
take
right.
it.
So listen, I'm about to get my birthday weekend on. Bow, 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 bow. I will holler at
Hey!
y'all.
Hey, Scorpio season.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go.
Y'all
Have
have a
a good
dope
time,
show. I
man.
know
Be
y'all
safe.
will. And
Happy early
remixes.
birthday.
Much love to y'all. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace. Ear doctor. Good stuff.
Yo.
Good stuff.
Oh man. So all right, he did leave us with some breaks. So we got some
Beautiful.
components. He
I gotta
did
go
let-
get my gear in about 12 minutes.
Um
Yes.
I'm sorry, say what now? What was
No, I
that?
said I gotta go get my pup in about eight minutes. I'm gonna step out and go get my dog because she left me a little surprise when I stepped out the room. I said, "Oh, this
So
doesn't
I'm
happen."
glad you mentioned that because I felt bad from something that happened, I don't know, a week or so ago when you were on here. We were both on here, and I'm not trying to bring up old, painful stuff, but you had mentioned, I just felt bad that it really didn't hit me until later, but you had mentioned the loss or some struggle with a pet.
Mhm.
And I don't feel like we let the moment, maybe that was intentional, but I didn't feel like we let the moment land and I didn't get to say anything. But just wanted to sort of reaffirm the importance of that and how I'm sorry for that because I get it. That's serious. And I don't know that we took it as serious as we should. And a lot of people don't take the pet thing serious enough. So but it did occur to me that I was like, Dad, we just rolled on through.
That was okay to roll on through it. I
Okay.
mean, it was to be clear, it wasn't my pet, but it was a pet
Okay.
that who was in my care, and the animal got loose, and then it was just a tragedy ensued after that. So it was a painful thing. It wasn't my dog, you know what I mean, and that doesn't make it better that it wasn't my dog, but it wasn't my dog. So it didn't require that we spend a whole any
Okay.
time questioning. Now when Baggy when she go on up to yonder, we could absolutely take several moments to acknowledge and celebrate the life of this now 15-year-old pit bull. She had her
Right on.
quinceañera yesterday. That's probably why she pooped in the house, because she got too much steak, too much carne asada. She got too much steak, so she had a little accident, which never happens, by the way. She, even for her being an elderly dog, Bagheera never has accidents in the house. That's why I was like, oh, this is unusual. so she's outside. I got to go get her in a few minutes. But anyway, thank you very much,
No
Jared,
problem.
for acknowledging that, because yes, the pets as part of the family is very serious and very real over here. So, and I know it's real over there too. So
we had a conversation about the eventual one day post Roberto, and I was like, man, I'm not even ready. We not even. I won't even be here. Even if we still doing BPM, then I'm not gonna be here. You won't see me that week.
Yeah. Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
6 months. That ain't gonna be no. I'll be like, man, I'm not coming around nobody. But anyway, okay, good.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Real quick, is this reference to that Jean Lamont Films is mentioning No Name's Tiny Desk performance? Is this a new one off of her new album, or is this something that had happened previously? And have you all been listening to her new album? I will say, I was even trying to do a segment about it because I was listening to it and sort of assigning it to have my daughters listen to it. We've been a little bit disorganized lately around that, but I've enjoyed the album. Oh, she was recently on Tiny Desk. Okay, I have to
Very
check that
good.
out. I will say my attempt to get to reach out and have her come through here was not successful. I don't know if I was able to I don't know if the number's the same, if the email's the same, but
Well, maybe you'll wait to that new album promotion die down a little bit.
right.
You know what I'm
Maybe I was a
saying?
little quick with it. Maybe I was a little bit quick with it. But you're right, absolutely. But I will say my daughters got some like cool points when they told their friends that we know each other. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I know No Name. I was like, man, please, no, I'm just playing. They was like, oh,
Pictures? Where are the
well,
selfies, Dad?
virtually. We met virtually.
Oh, got
I
it,
should
got it,
say.
got it,
So
got it.
she was briefly at one point passingly talking about even doing a show here. So, but Erica, nah, oh boy, nothing. It's rough out here getting credibility with your children. I'm getting it where I can get it. Okay. All right, Kim, any stories that you want us to get to, or we are laced. We are laced. Sister Erica has laced us. But
There
is there
are some I
anything you
would
would like
like to
to?
get to. Unfortunately, you have to give me a few minutes. Maybe I'll send this to you maybe by our second or third story because I did want to take a time to I wanted to find some of the footage from last night's protest outside of the DNC headquarters. Your cousins was out there, Jared. If not when, Jewish Voices for Peace, your radical lefty cousins was out there. Getting beat up by the cops, no less. So yeah,
No.
oh yeah. Yeah, they
The
was beating
police are
up.
beating up Jews too?
Hey, it's rough times. It's time, tough times
Damn.
out here. Okay.
Man, they had Van Jones calling people Muslim, hate the
Oh
Muslims.
shit.
Y'all were funny yesterday.
Oh man. Yeah. So let me pull together a
Okay.
couple of those clips but we can kick off with a story one if there is one that
All
you have
right.
ready to
Yeah.
go.
Well, I'll try to be theme relevant here, and we'll start with this bit of just nightmare from Al Jazeera. Why is Gaza's Al Shifa hospital so important for the Israeli army? The largest hospital in the besieged enclave already faced shortages before Israeli forces blew up its medicine warehouse. Ever since the Israeli army's strikes on the Gaza Strip began after the October 7th Hamas attack, the Al Shifa hospital in the northern part of the besieged enclave has been prominently featured in the news. For the past 5 days, it has been at the center of everything as Gaza's death toll has risen, with more than 11,500 Palestinians, nearly half of them children, killed by Israeli forces. Al-Shifa's significance is beyond medical, according to this story. This storied medical complex, whose name translates into House of Healing, has been described as the beating heart of Gaza. It has been there since the time of the British rule over Palestine and became a hospital in 1946, after originally housing British Army barracks. It has survived several wars and many years of Israeli occupation. Since last month, there's been denied urgently needed supplies of medicine and fuel, and that was before Israeli troops broke in and blew up its dwindling stores of medicine.
So that what Israel claimed is that Hamas had command operations
Right.
under the hospital. Hamas denied this. Hospital administrators denied this. And yet IDF forces have been seen shooting at people trying to evacuate the hospital. and there's just absolutely no excuse for it. But this is obviously part of the strategy to target hospitals and then deny targeting the hospitals and then try to redirect. Oh no, it was a misfire by the Islamic jihadists. We ain't had nothing to do with the hospitals being blown up, even though we done blowed up everything around the fucking hospital.
Yeah, again, to me, I don't care if there was overwhelming evidence. I don't care if there were Hamas bunkers under these hospitals and they were on a video feed waving proudly flags and saying yes, we're here. It still does not justify bombing a hospital or attacking a hospital or targeting a hospital. If anything, if you can reduce your enemy to having to hide beneath a hospital, call that a victory and move on. Claim the victory and move on. But to then turn around and say that this justifies targeting a hospital is absurd. And I mean, just more evidence of the pattern. Yeah.
And the whole ridiculousness of these 4-hour pauses, these quote humanitarian pauses. Like, I'm sorry, like how much humanity can be achieved within a 4-hour window within a war zone? Like, seriously. And I mean, and that being used as some sort of victory of diplomacy victory for the United States. Oh, well, we got Israel to agree to these 4-hour humanitarian pauses. Well, I ain't shit. People are out here still getting killed by the thousands, children getting killed by the thousands, refugee camps targeted, hospitals targeted. Like, it's inexcusable. It just falls short as a word to describe these horrific actions that just continue to happen, that are cleaned up by the American media, used, given every reason under the book, under the sun, to justify Israeli actions, and it's just being gobbled up and accepted, except for the radical folks that have stood up and made their voices heard on the left. I'm not talking about the radical right fascists, because they out here being heard too. But if anyone's paying attention from around the globe, you have to know that all of America is not in support of what's being done to the Palestinians by the Israelis. Like, everybody's not with that shit. Please know that.
And according to, as we've been talking about here lately, is according to Greenblatt from the ADL, they're losing. They're in a crisis, a public relations crisis, particularly among young people who are across the board. Like, this is ridiculous. So they're having a hard time with the messaging. And
what do you think about that, by the way? What are your thoughts about that? I mean, they talk about, I think, TikTok, like again, I take the temperature regarding like the mainstream stories that I see, and regardless, see how much it's impacting the discourse of regular not paying attention people. But like, the story that I saw, TikTok, overwhelmingly, pro-Palestinian and anti-Semitic, and I'm like, like, pro-Palestinian does not equal anti-Semitic, but that is right. Yeah. The narrative, though, right?
That's the narrative. So I did a little video about it yesterday. People could check that out. But going over some of these details, according to Greenblatt and the ADL, TikTok is a targeted space where they are trying to fund influencers to clap back, so to speak, against this idea that to whatever extent it is true, that but from their perspective, it is a generational thing. So it may very well be that TikTok is more leaning towards pro-Palestinian. It certainly has led them to a concern. There's like a global Zionist concern over this, and they're spending tens of millions of dollars and calling for more. He said, I mean, and we played like, you can hear the audio of him on this call saying we have a major generational crisis. Like, he's like, get your checkbooks out.
Oh, like, we're losing this. We've got audio of Greenblatt.
Oh yeah, I'll even let me see. I'll pull it up real quick. It I mean, it's and shout out to Dr. Burton. Orasami Burton sent me these stories.
Yeah.
And
Good,
it's
because let me just
I'll
be clear.
just
The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, just straight out here defaming a comrade in his organization, the Community Movement Builders. The irony, the Anti-Defamation League doing nothing but defaming. Suckers.
so I'll play at least a little bit of this, and then I'll put the link in the show description or in the chat. People can follow up. Hold on, let me start it back a little bit here. Transcript is at the bottom, but this is all just bars and gems. Here we go. So.
But I also want to point out that we have a major generational problem. All the polling I've seen, ADL's polling, ICC's polling, independent polling, suggests this is not a left-right gap, folks. The issue in the United States of support for Israel is not left and right. It is young and old.
So, and then he goes on to talk specifically about the need to target TikTok and the need to, and then I had a clip that the Worry sent me of a young white boy TikToker saying, you know, they tried to pay me $5,000 to do pro-Israel. I don't want to do it, and you know, be aware of the, you know, so, and then there's other articles that we went through too, where there's tens and tens of billions of dollars being spent and raised to fight this. In addition to the direct violent war, to fight this public opinion battle that they're losing. And I do remember, you know, going back even some years now, and initially I would learn from this from people like Norman Finkelstein, but that apparently for the last couple of decades even, younger Jews are just losing interest in Israel in general, and this aggressive Zionist project in particular. So there has been a sort of creeping concern. And now, in my lifetime, I don't remember it being this overt. Israel's abuse has been, this seems like a whole new level of overt. And you couple that with all the cameras and all the phones and all the social media. And again, new generations of people with different, slightly at least different politics. And yeah. So they're like, yeah, so that's why they're getting Amy Schumer and Van Jones, and I mean, they're trying to get everybody they could get to say, get out here and get your pro-Israel thing happening, you know. And Davey D talked to him yesterday, and he was talking about this. No, did something happen?
I thought you almost said Davey D was.
Oh no, Davey, no. I would no. Oh my God, no. Sorry, yeah, sorry, no. That's my guy.
On their side. That's why I was like, oh
yes.
shit, not Davey D. God damn.
No. We don't agree on everything, but he is not going that. No. Much love to D. In fact, he was sharing with me this call. I forgot the Jewish reporter's name, but this woman was basically saying, or a columnist maybe, she was basically saying, black people remember that we Jews have ridden with you through everything, and we're going to remember that you haven't stood with us at this point in time and all that. Yeah, she was like going really, you know, like you know, yeah, going in, and you know, never, you know. So there's obviously a lot to say about the flaws in that history, but it was just yeah. So they're like but I think that they're really, to Greenblatt's point, in a crisis. They're struggling, and I think they're flailing around a little bit, and which of course means probably more violence, more hostility, and more calls for you know, claims of anti-Semitism and hostility against people that speak out against this, because they don't know what else to do, and they're not going to change their opinion. They're lying about Dr. King. They're out here, you know what I mean? They're just out here just making stuff up as they go along to be like, we got to find a hook to get people back.
But it's like,
yeah.
How do you even counter that, right? Because like, all, you know, the temperature in the streets and the whatever, you know, oh my God, anti-Semitism's out of control. This is the most anti-Semitism we've seen before the Holocaust. And I'm like, is it though? I mean, and I mean, obviously, I'm not of that community. I can't say, you know what I mean? I can't say with any authoritativeness that these folks are not experiencing a greater level of harassment. I mean, how do I counter that? Just because I might be skeptical about the so-called rise in anti-Semitism, I can't empirically or on any grounds really deny that it is happening, even though I feel like that just sounds like hyperbole. Like, this is the most anti-Semitism before since the whole. You're sure about that? But you understand what I'm saying? Like, how
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's the claim certainly coming from the ADL and other sources. So to be fair and be honest, I don't really have, well, I have many jokes, but I don't really have the connection to as you put it, my cousins as so a lot of what I'm hearing is from what is reported and what the claims are, just like a lot of other people. But and I'm maybe also not the right one to ask, because to be perfectly honest, my answer is in general something along the lines of, if in fact there is a greater degree of hostility that you are feeling, the only way that I think that it can be properly addressed is for you to support an end of the occupation and to support the freedom and liberation of Palestinians and other oppressed communities. That people who support Israel have to tell Israel that it has to change its relationship to Palestinians, to Arabs, to other Jews, to other Africans. I mean, this is what it's the same way I feel about when we sometimes see versions of that in this country where white folks start raising these concerns about, whatever. And it's like, well, don't be mad about our response. Don't be mad about the response of people who are oppressed. If you have an issue with the concerns of oppressed groups, work to end their oppression. So I don't know if that is a helpful response in all situations, and probably not, but
there's a lot of disingenuousness going on out
That's
here.
true.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Because it's like, oh, well, we're seeing a rise in, swastikas, spray painted. I'm like, really? You think the Palestinians are out here drawing swastikas? Is that what you really think?
Right.
Like, be serious. Like, and some of this, I mean, it's again, I'm not trying to diminish or dismiss a community's, claims of feeling, more attacked or feeling harassed or feeling what. I don't want to dismiss that, or diminish that, but I have questions. That's all I'm gonna say. It
has to be put in context. I think you're right to have questions, and it should be put in. And there has been and there are people who have written articles about. I mean, there's a lot in terms of this claim of the new rise of anti-Semitism, and then specific attachment to the new rise of Black anti-Semitism. This has been something that's been going on for decades, and I think, to your point, there is a lot of disingenuousness involved, and I think it has more to do, as has been admitted as Israeli policy in Occupation of the Mind and other sources, that it is official policy to use the claim of anti-Semitism to prevent or to blunt criticism of Israel. So I think you're right to have questions. And then even with this story here that Erica has for us, in terms of the funding to suppress any sort of critical voice, the Squad even is about, according to this this Slate article, the Squad is about to fight for its political life. The war in Gaza has set the stage for a huge primary battle in 2024. And the short of the story, obviously I'm not have digested the entire thing, but the short of the story is a bunch of money, about $100 million is being dropped to basically primary these folks to get them out of here. Which I have to say, everybody, because I know people are on pins and needles about whatever decision I'm ultimately going to make, but this may be impacting my own congressional campaign. So we have to decision to run.
You saw Sarbanes is retiring. Jared said he's gonna throw his hat in the ring.
No, I actually didn't. But there is this there's this very small group that has said that I should do it, and they have a very well articulated plan and strategy and argument.
As a Green?
No. It would have to. I'm sure it would have to be as a Democrat.
Shit!
But
damn.
I'm not. But first of all, as I've been telling people, I don't have spousal approval, so it's not like it's not going to happen anyway. But the discussions were interesting, and when I was and now that Calvin Ball, so Kim, you'll appreciate this. Calvin Ball stepped out. He said he's not going to run
for Congress. Okay,
he was entertaining running for that seat. So what this little crew
should have run. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, you should run. My bad.
Well, so what they said was so shout out to my second favorite Eddie Murphy movie, Distinguished Gentleman. They said you should run on the Eddie Murphy campaign slogan from that movie. Vote for the name you know, and just highlight the last name Ball on the campaign literature and see. So it was like that alone makes me want to do it, just to see, but anyway, the point really is all that silliness aside, the point really is that those who are already there, who have raised even the slightest criticism of what Israel is doing, are facing this huge wave new wave of a primary attack of funding coming to get them. So I would count that as part of this messaging battle. They're trying to get rid of people who are raising even the slightest, base levels of criticism. And yeah, so $100 million is coming at the squad.
Well, I mean, I think out of everybody, probably Rashida Tlaib might be the safest, even though she has been the most vocal in her opposition to, the U.S. support of Israel. It's a lot of Palestinians out there in Dearborn, you know what I'm saying, out there in Detroit. And I think overwhelmingly she has the support of the Detroit community. Detroit, if you're in the chat, correct me if I got that wrong. Old girl out of Minnesota, she might be weak. Ilhan Omar. I don't know if the people them still fucking with Ilhan. She been a little shaky out here on some of these some of these real principled fights in Congress that the squad was expected to take certain positions on, and I think Ilhan's been a little shaky, but I think Rashida's been solid. Who else are we talking about? The squad? We talking about Cori Bush? Who else was in there?
Yeah, let me pull this back up. I think the pictured at least was the whole crew. My bad. Let me pull this back up.
Let's see. We talk because I've been done forgot about the squad. Who we talking about? AOC.
That's why I can't do it off the top of my head. I can't even front. I need to find this story.
I guess AOC is safe.
AOC
she done towed the line. She done got in line. You know what I'm saying? She done accepted her marching orders, and she gonna be a good little girl, and she gonna do as told, and that's fine. Whatever. I don't care.
So she is pictured here. So it's her, Omar. What's my main? Bowman.
Oh, that.
Bush.
Is he part of the squad? I guess so.
No, not Bush. Yeah, well, I mean, he's pictured here. I don't know. Actually, who are these other folks? Who is? So Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush is here, and then who would? I actually don't know the other two names. Probably somebody in the chat knows.
Well, Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, she's there. I already got her. But who is this woman? What is this woman's name again? And this woman's name? I know. Somebody in the chat got to help me out here.
Sorry, guys.
My bad. This is just.
They don't have a caption.
They don't. Not right there. They don't. I was like, really, you don't have a caption for me? Come on now. Okay. So
you don't know who that is?
Ayanna Pressley. There we go. Ayanna Pressley,
right,
Cori
Ayanna
Bush,
Pressley.
and then there's one more, Summer Lee.
I don't know who that is. Where's she
I don't
from?
know who. I don't know. She was added this summer. I mean, she was added this past election.
Who her is,
2022.
Hoppo, who this woman? Who is her?
Yeah, I don't know
Summer
who
Lee?
she is. I don't know who Summer Lee is.
Where's she from?
Let me check the chat. Anybody in the chat?
She one of y'all Congress people.
Giving Goddess says she's halfway decent or seems halfway decent. But where is the? She's out of Pittsburgh. Thank you, Sugar Booger. Pittsburgh, PA.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know what and honestly, to what you were just going over, I don't know the details of the condition or the relative safety of all of them. But
is she already vulnerable? Summer, I ain't even heard.
Well, from what I hear, you're vulnerable immediately after election. Like they spend almost all their time fundraising for the next election. So if you're about to get hit with a whole bunch of money funding your opposition, maybe she is in trouble already. I don't know.
I see that from my Congressman Glenn Ivey. Like the election's over, right? Like he wasn't even on the ballot this go round, and he's running commercials talking about his constituent services. And if you're having trouble with this and that, and you live in Prince George's County, 4th District, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ooh, Glenn Ivey must have met his fundraising goal. He must have hit his goal because they broke him off with some money. You know what I'm saying? Here, you get to run a little ad. You know, good job, Glenn. You made your fundraising goal for the quarter.
Oh, what you cutie booty little ad? You cutie little, look at your cutie little ad.
But anyway, but Jared, keep an eye on that FBI fight. I'm not gonna go over it again today. I know you guys. I was so giddy about the shit because the shit is awesome. But you just watch. Westmore is about to get put in his place, and I'm so here for it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, is this the story you just sent me?
Negative. What I sent you is
because what do you talk? Wait, what do you talk? I'm sorry. Real quick. What are you talking about that I should keep my eye on?
The fight for the FBI headquarters location.
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry.
But it's going to be Westmore's first political W, and it's going to be a big one. So I just want it to be on your radar. So when it happens, you'll know exactly what just happened.
Kim told me this was going. Kim said it here first.
Yes. Okay. Oh yes. Wes's first big L. Did I say W? Because I meant to say L. Law.
Oh, you said W. So it is going to be
totally meant to say law. I meant to say law.
Okay, his first big.
I take the L this morning. Yes, Westmore's first political L will be surrounding this FBI headquarters. Mark my words.
Okay. Okay. I know you sent me a story. I will pull that up, but Ear Doctor did leave us with a break. So a couple breaks, actually. So let's go ahead and take this break before the 9 o'clock hour. And then we'll come back with more Remix Morning Show right here on Black Power Media. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And please make sure y'all like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And also go to patreon.com and become a member over there so you can get that footage that's not over here. All right, with that said, we are going to do a artist spotlight. Who am I going to spotlight today? Man, one of my favorites. No other than Robert Townsend. Oh, yes. Now, let me tell you about Robert Townsend coming straight out of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? He's a director, an actor, a comedian, and a writer. He's known for Hollywood Shuffle. He's known for Eddie Murphy Raw, The Meteor Man, The 5 Heartbeats, one of my favorite movies ever, and stand-up specials. He also did Parenthood that came out on WB back in the day, which ran from like 1995 to 1999. And he's very much known for his role, Donald Duck Matthews, like I said, in The 5 Heartbeats. He wrote, directed, and produced. He also did a Making of 5 Heartbeats documentary in 2018. Now, he also has a production company called Townsend Entertainment, which produced films like Plan for Love and The Hive. And during the 80s and 90s, he gained a lot of exposure through his stand-up comedy routines and appearances on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He worked with a bunch of people. We talk about Halle Berry, Morgan Freeman, Chris Tucker, Beyonce, Denzel Washington. I mean, he's worked with a lot of superstars. Other than that, he got his start off doing a little bit of acting. And one of his roles he played, which was uncredited role, was in Cooley High. Yes, he was in Cooley High. After that, being in high school and stuff, he enrolled in Illinois State University, and then he went to New York for the Negro Ensemble Company and started doing more and more acting. Later after that, he tried to be on Saturday Night Live, and the 1980-1981 cast, but got rejected because they was like, Eddie Murphy's better. Hey, it's all good. He wound up directing Eddie Murphy Raw anyway. So how about that? Take that. All right, other than that, he was in Soldier Story and The Mighty Quinn, which was opposite of Denzel Washington. But a lot of people know him for doing Hollywood Shuffle back in 1987. This was talking about how black actors was going through so much stuff trying to even get into Hollywood. So big up to this brother right here. Like I said, he's been doing much more stuff after that. He even did a Don Cornelius Soul Train joint where it was American Soul. And he has a nonprofit organization that helps get filmmakers some publicity. He also did The Living in Love, which is Natalie Cole's story, which won an NAACP Image Award. And he did Carmen, a hip hopper. Man, so many things. And you're talking about from all the way from 1975 being in film to now. We talk about Cooley High going to the Soldier Story. Meteor Man, which is one of the first black superhero joints. Baps. Yes, he even did that before Baps was even thought of. Bap was thought of. But yo, right now, he's directing Power Book, Force. That's right, with that white boy Killer Tommy. So he's still doing it, y'all. And you can also check him out. He did a role in Bear. That's a cooking show. Well, it's a cooking show. It's on Hulu. But anyway, he stays doing it, acting, directing, and all that. So I just wanted to show my love for no other than Robert Townsend. Yeah.
Very beautiful, very beautiful.
Absolutely.
Robert Townsend.
Enormous Robert Townsend fan. I did not know about the Cooley High joint. The only thing that I did not hear is that he also played a role in the re-release some years ago of Sam Greenlee's The Spook Sat by the Door, and had a good interview with him on that DVD. But I think that's the only thing I recognized was missing in that tribute.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Did I hear it? Oh, that wasn't a Robert Townsend movie. I'm sorry, that was Keenan Ivory Wayans. My bad.
Oh, right. But I thought he was.
Didn't he direct it? Am I wrong? No, maybe I'm off. Y'all,
that's a good question. That's a chat question for sure, because I know that they work together. Because I did go. One of again, I've said it here before. One of my favorite things that I did do when in that 2018 release of the making of the 5 Heartbeats, I went to see that, and Keenan was all over that initially. They were working on that together. They were the original cast was going to be very different. Denzel was going to be in it. It was going to be a whole.
And I'm gonna get you, sucker.
No. In the 5 Heartbeats.
Okay.
So my point is that I know that he and Keenan were very tight and have always worked together a lot. So I tend to think of them a lot in sort of overlapping parallel ways. So I might. Yeah.
All right, we're getting it. That Keenan was in Hollywood Shuffle. See, in some of these, so I need to actually go back and revisit Robert Townsend's like full filmography, because in context, the only movies I can remember seeing at the time were obviously 5 Heartbeats, which was a classic, but like The Mighty Quinn and even like Hollywood Shuffle. I think I was just too young. I think the movies just went over my head. You know what I mean? So I didn't. They're not movies that I have pursued as an adult to be, I need to go back and watch The Mighty Quinn again. You know what I mean? So aside from the 5 Heartbeats, which was, a Head and Shoulders and then Head and Shoulders and then Head and Shoulders of a classic, the rest of it, I don't know. For myself personally, y'all, I'm not down in the man's body of work. I'm just saying I don't
think you're out of place.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. I think, when you lay it out like that, my initial response is you're probably more right than anything else. I think I did enjoy The Mighty Quinn, but I would never argue for it being some classic bit of filmmaking. And I used to use Hollywood Shuffle a lot, even as a classroom teaching tool. But I remember it more for that than as a standalone piece of art. So I agree with you. I might have to go back and look at that myself. But the what is it? The Meteor Man or whatever that was. I don't know that I ever paid much attention to that, if at all.
Wasn't there another black superhero that he did? Or am I thinking again? Am I getting Robert Townsend and the Wayans confused again? Was it Damon Wayans who did? Oh, he wearing a cape, y'all? I'm sorry.
Did Damon Wayans? I can't remember that. I don't remember that.
Blank Man, was that an actual movie or was that just a in living color skit?
I can't remember it either.
Damn it.
Blurring together.
Yeah, it's very
Blank Man feels like it was a movie though. Let me hit the Google real quick. Blank Man.
Because there was a lot of them kind of off-brand black superheroes.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Well, this was 1994, right? 1994, and it had David Allen Greer and Robin Givens. Lynn Thigpen, Michael Wayans, Damon Wayans. Michael, do I remember Michael?
Who is Michael Wayans?
Do I know Michael? They got another Wayans. They got
That's
a
like
lot
Marlon
of Wayanses.
Jackson. Who is Michael Wayans?
So yeah, I don't think I saw Blank Man, but yes, it was an actual movie.
I was just kind of reminiscing about that sort of era, that mid to late, I guess maybe a good 10-year run. I think Black film had, like the mid 80s to the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, where it was, I mean, whether or not you went and saw the movie or not, the offerings were there. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
we can debate the quality of the offerings, the dramas, the comedies, but they were there. And I don't think that Black movies, Black cinema, it's not there in the same volume that it was at that era, because there was enough space for there to be good stuff and bad stuff, right? Like, and now I can't speak as again to the quality of the offerings, but you could go see some good Black movies, you can go see some terrible Black movies, but they were available for the consumption.
And now it feels like, this is definitely speculation, but it feels like we've lost a little bit of what you're talking about, because there's been more quote unquote opportunities given to Black filmmakers to do what are not Black films. So you get Black filmmakers making, you know, some of these Marvel whatevers and some other blockbuster or some other. I remember when Spike Lee said after the 25th Hour film, he actually, I know he didn't mean this, but he did actually say this. He said this was the movie he had always, that his career was designed for him to make, or something like that. It was like, really? I enjoyed the movie actually, but this is the movie? Like, really? That can't be right. But
you could ask. Spike was in town yesterday. He got his day. Muriel Bowser made November 15th Spike Lee Day in Washington, D.C., as he was there for the groundbreaking of the forthcoming Go-Go Museum.
Wow. Well, okay. There's going to be a Go-Go Museum?
Yes, and they have a mobile van version of it to start, but they did a groundbreaking yesterday in Anacostia.
I'm not. Thank you, Elon. Yes, please go watch the discussion I did with Mtume Gann. Thank you, Elon. That was the film, just his film discussion. I've already been begging him in private messaging to come on back, because his media analysis is crazy, and his knowledge of film history is bananas. In the world, the world has made so many movies that we're not even supposed to know exist. Anyway,
I believe that.
So yeah, I didn't know the last time Spike and I were in the same room, they turned my mic off. So
okay.
But, no, because it was years ago, and he was at Townsend talking about film, and I raised a critique during Q&A about Malcolm X, and he was like, Malcolm wasn't no Marxist. And I was like, okay, well, anyway. But yeah, I hope he had a wonderful time in the nation's capital.
Well, that's it. I was just mentioning that because you said Spike Lee, and I was like, oh,
no, he was not on BPM.
He was in town yesterday.
If we could get him on BPM, I would love to see it with me or anyone else. I think he should be on there. I would love to see him get interviewed. I got a lot of questions, and I want to start with that temporary expulsion from the New York Knicks arena. That's what I want. How did that feel, Spike? What happened when they said you can't come in the back door anymore? His little private entryway, whatever. Anyway, whatever. Should we get to your more serious story? I'm over here being stupid.
Sure.
Simple.
I mean, so these are clips from If Not Now When's Twitter page. I'm still calling it Twitter. Fuck a X. Only X we respect and acknowledge are Doc Man and Malcolm. I am not calling Twitter X. So anyway, from Twitter, these clips from If Not Now When, from the clashes last night. Listen to me. The clashes last night between protesters and police, and as things turned violent when the protesters began, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, the protesters say they got attacked by the cops, and this is DC police, so I believe them.
All right.
We came here chanting ceasefire. We came here saying, stop murdering Palestinians. Stop killing more children. 4,000 already have been murdered. Stop it. And you know what they did? They met us with pepper spray, with full riot gear, with tear gas, with violence. That is what our government is saying it thinks about Palestinian lives. We put out candles to represent the 11,000 Palestinians who have been murdered. They stepped on them. They stepped over them. That is what our government thinks of Palestinian lives. And we're saying, as Americans, the majority of us want a ceasefire. The majority of us are saying, stop killing Palestinians with our tax dollars. So we will stay here today and tomorrow across the country until we get that ceasefire, because we refuse to be complicit. We refuse to embolden genocide and war crimes.
Yeah, all right. And I see in the chat that
It said 90 protesters were injured last night by police.
Oh, wow.
90. And big up again. I the only organizations that I'm aware were out there last night. I'm sure there were more, but the ones that I have heard confirmed are, you know, if not now, when, and then the Jewish Voices for Peace. And what they were doing outside of the DNC, obviously protesting what's happening to the Palestinians. But what was happening at the DNC was a fundraising dinner. And so again, this is the kind of shit I'm here for, especially in DC. Like, don't let these motherfuckers be in their fundraising dinner all comfortable and shit, eating good. Turn that shit up. Let's go.
And it's interesting that in that clip I was playing a minute ago, Greenblatt mentions Jewish Voices for Peace as a group that they've been targeting and monitoring for years, the ADL, so as a hostile group. So, and they're saying that they're winning. So here's the other one you sent.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? DNC. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh shit! Someone just got thrown. People getting thrown down the stairs. People getting thrown down the stairs.
I didn't. Let me be quiet. I didn't know the police would put hands on white people, but I guess I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a little. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by those pictures. I didn't know I didn't know police knew how to do that. I just thought they just, reserved all their violence for non-whites. But look at that.
Quietly, and particularly for poor whites, they put hands on them quite often, quietly. And for some of them poor whites that I've read about over the years that organize themselves into quite violent, hostile groups, they put hands back on the police, and this somehow avoids news quite often. But to your point, I think that maybe I'm doing too much with the newness of it, but it feels like this is different from what I've experienced in my lifetime. And I feel like the response, they're having to get more amped up because more and more, even whites and liberals and young folks are saying, this is just, you've done too much. The regular oppression we can live with, but this is like, now now we can't even avoid it and go get our coffee. This is so we need you to turn down the oppression. So I'm interested to see how far left these folks really want to go, and how I'm curious to see in particular how this is going to play out. Sort of what we were just talking about in terms of the 2024 elections, and other kind of left formations. Are they going to start expanding and growing? Are people really, what could this be? I hope, but. We should at least be aware that there's going to be a massive, or already is developing a massive effort to re-corral these folks. So there's going to be a whole new level of messaging, probably levels of violence like that, to say, listen, because as I've been listening to Electronic Intifada, and it's for some reason, maybe because of that attention, it has become that much more clear to me the position Israel really is in, and they are really in a bind in the sense that their mission, as Michael Hudson has been saying on Ben Norton's show, is to be an aircraft carrier or an extension of U.S. military bases in the Middle East. So where he was citing some official that actually was calling Israel an aircraft carrier. And if anyone understands what an aircraft carrier means to the warfare machine of the United States, it is the main piece of weaponry. It is the centerpiece that all the militaries work to protect, because it can do everything in terms of bringing warfare to everybody. So that's the analogy being drawn there. So if they say, okay, well, we'll do a two-state solution. Well, now you've just created another independent state of Arabs in the Middle East, which is going against the mission of Israel in the first place. So you can't do that. And then if Israel says, we'll do a one-state solution, well, then you got to give up the Jewish state thing and have a democracy. Well, they're damn sure not doing that. So because that also upsets the military mission of Israel's initial purpose in that region. So what they're left to do, more violence, more genocide, and more propaganda on this side to get people back in line. And I'm fascinated at minimum to see how this is going to play out.
I would recommend, even though it's nauseating and just the sight of this person's face is just so utterly repulsive. He just I look at this person, I'm like, you got demon in you. You might be a quarter demon. I don't know how much demon, but you got some demon in you. But fucking Netanyahu was on Meet the Press this weekend, and it was a revealing interview. Netanyahu said that they have to demilitarize Gaza. They have to de-radicalize Gaza. Gaza, the military and the government, right? And he said they not stopping until Hamas is eradicated. And all I heard was, we not leaving. Like, you see all this, you see Israeli troops at the hospital and down in Gaza City. Yup, them niggas is there to stay. Like, they not leaving. They staying. It's theirs now. It's over. Like, I don't even mean to say it like that. Like it's a hopeless situation, and in some ways it definitely is. But I mean, he told us. He just said right there, like, the goal is to de-radicalize and demilitarize Palestine, so Israel's security will be shored up, right? So they don't intend to leave until they do those things, until they accomplish those things. And apparently can't nobody make them leave, because the United States, the only country that probably has any influence on Israel at all, is refusing to do or say much of anything to stop this. So what we're seeing is a whole realignment, redrawing of the region, because as those Palestinians leave, they're not going to be allowed to return, is my guess.
Yeah. Oh, and I think they know that, and that's why I've been hearing that a lot of them are refusing to leave regardless of the consequences. They're saying we're not, in addition to what you also pointed out, that they're being shot and killed as they do leave.
As they do leave.
So it's like, and you're right. I mean, Netanyahu, every time, I fully agree. Whenever I see him, this is the mask off of Satan or whatever. I mean, it's just that quarter demon or whatever, however you want to. I don't know what his exact.
It's bad.
I don't know what I was trying to come up quickly with, like, what would be the equivalent to mulatto and quadroon for demon? Like, are you like a quademon or like
an octave demon?
An octave demon?
Oh man.
Like, I see it in you, Netanyahu. I
didn't even know Netanyahu was American by birth, wasn't he? Because I think he grew up in the Philadelphia suburbs, if I have that correct. He got his Hebrew accent down, though. You know what I'm saying?
But, I thought it was okay. No, you might be right, but I thought, well, they're all Eastern European at some point. So that's where I. But you're right. I don't know if he grew up in. Ricky is saying, yep. He grew up. So he just. It's like, so if then it might be more than a quarter, because if you raised up over here, it might. Oh man.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Probably an Eagles fan. Can't trust him. Oh, my bad, Eagles. My bad, Eagles. Calm down.
Probably an Eagles fan. Yeah, you about to get some hate mail off of that one.
Yeah. Y'all be all right, Philly. Shut up.
They don't play around. Boy, I tell you.
Y'all sit atop the NFC East, man. Shut up. Y'all can get these jokes.
Okay, there it is. By the way, there's your sports news of the morning. We cover it all here at the remix.
That's it.
Eagles are in first place. There it is. You're welcome, everybody.
Deshaun Watson out for the season. What else? Quick football news.
Honestly, I have not paid less attention. Like, I'm than ever. I've hit a new low of
Ravens
attention.
lost a heartbreaker over the weekend. The Ravens lost a critical one, but yeah, it's all good. It's all
Once
good.
Daniel Snyder left, I was like, my job here is done.
It's no fun no more. It's no fun no more. Well, that's okay. They're about to have a coaching controversy down there in Washington
Oh,
because
nice.
the new
Nice.
ownership is probably going to give Ron Rivera the axe, and then there's talk that Bill Belichick might be brought in. And it's like, don't bring that nigga in now, please. It's not necessary. Can we get a new coach, just a new person altogether?
Well, good.
A black one, a good one.
Yeah, I would like that too, because I do remember Ron saying something to the effect he didn't want to be counted as a so-called person of color. He was like, I don't want to be listed as some minority hire. I'm not some Latino or whatever you want to call, whatever he would say. He was like, don't count me as that. I am just here to coach. I was like, son, man, you really doing too much.
Just count me
You're
as a
doing too
regular
much.
white? Is that what
he was?
I mean?
Basically, he was trying to do that whole thing. I'm a whatever I am, I just happen to coach type thing. Don't put me in any group with any of these whatevers. He's OJ, exactly. I'm at a festo. He's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
I'm not Mexican, I'm wrong.
No, I'm not Mexican, I'm wrong.
I think Ron is
Rivera.
Mexican.
Don't even try to hit me with Rivera.
Rivera. Hard R. Don't roll that bitch. Hard R. Rivera.
All hard R's around here.
Indeed. Remixers.
Oh my goodness.
Come
All
on
right, let me
in.
get
Give the
back on
video
track.
a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for being here with us this morning on this Thursday. Reverend Dr. Jerry Ball, Kim Brown in the building. Ear Doctor was here, but he said, I got to go kick the truth.
I got a job. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
So
they don't pay me enough on the remix. I got a job. I'm out.
So he out
He
kick.
said,
Oh, what's up? What's the
He said
latest?
he got a new truck and insurance. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's the latest on what?
Are we coming? Are we closing in on a candidate for our senior development of Negro affairs on the?
We are
nice.
actually. We have. Let's see. The exact stage is, I believe we have. So we've gone through all of the applicants. And we are setting up this week, or I guess it will be this week, we're setting up for next week the first round of interviews. So people should start hearing soon, being invited to come through the first round of interviews. And I am very impressed, and I am humbled that some very talented, qualified, and deeply concerned and interested in BPM people have applied. And it's clearly not for fame and wealth, and it's not this is not the stepping stone to BET or wherever people have their fantasies, but it is to Roland Martin. Maybe. No, I'm just playing. But but I am very humbled that these folks are serious and they're talented and intelligent.
Good.
So, and very interested in helping us do better and grow. So. Yes, we are not fast enough for me, but we are moving. We are getting ourselves together. So,
well, again, you have to factor in the algorithmic suppression that YouTube calculates for, niggas talking left and reckless out here. So, like they're gonna, they're putting the thumb on the scale, so to speak. So again, don't. I wouldn't feel no kind of way if you don't feel
no.
I mean, of course, the channel, everybody's channel could be growing. That's a fucked up thing about capitalism.
Yeah.
Like we have these expectations that no, we supposed to grow. It's supposed to be bigger. You know what I mean? And that's good. That's the the goal, I suppose. But there's other factors at play. Like you know what I mean? There's other factors at play. So the channel's doing well. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. For me, personally, I just want us to be better organized in sort of serving the already existing community. I have very, I think, measured expectations as to the relative overall growth of the channel. And I think because to your point, we are going against algorithms, politics. I mean, name it. The arrangement of the platform is also, having all these shows on the platform, I've come to learn, is not conducive to growing a platform. It actually works against the growth of the platform because the algorithm, funnily enough, will punish a whole platform for one low-performing video. So if you have any low performing videos on your platform, it weakens the highly performing. I mean, it's a whole setup to basically make people work as individuals, compete against one another, and whittle themselves down to serve the algorithm. That's what it's designed to do. And we are working as a collective with different views and different shows and sharing revenue. And so we're doing literally every single thing you're not supposed to do if you want to have a YouTube channel. And yet we still have what I think is a very sizable and thoughtful audience. And so that's all I mean. That I'm really just saying, like, what we have, we need to do better with, and I think can do better with. We just need help with some organization. And like I was joking with Ear Doctor today, like the four of us as owners, we're not business people. So like once you start thinking about growing a business or a platform, you got to get help, because I know this is not what I'm.
And I kind of felt a little funny suggesting, I can't remember when it was, this week, last week, that the channel for the gear participate in Black Friday. Because I'm like, whoa, wait, Sam. I don't know if that's the best, because it's counter to the values. You know what I mean?
You're right, yeah.
But at the same time, if you're trying to unload some of that gear at a good price and load it kind of quick,
Go to
Black Friday sale.
blackpowermedia.org.
That also. Oh, well,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't even. We would have to check in with. I'd have to check in with others to I don't even know how that would be done. Can we just have that set up? But I don't. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's all kinds of contradictions that we're dealing with here, being in this space. So, but that said, speaking of contradictions, we do have another Ear Doctor break. So why don't we take one real quick and come back to wrap up the show here on the Remix.
Oh, wow. Look at
Black
that.
Power Media. Back in a second.
Yeah. All right, here we go once again as we take this quick break. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and this is the Remix Morning Show. Hey, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and get footage you would not see over here. And share. Sharing is caring. Caring, sharing. All right, boom. Who are we going to talk about right now? As you can hear in the background. Ooh, something sultry. Yeah. We're going to talk about Esperanza Spalding. Ooh, she got that good hair, boy. Oh, man. Let me tell you about this sister right here. Coming straight out of Portland, Oregon. Yes, she's a bass player, a singer, songwriter, composer. She has 5 Grammy Awards, a Boston Music Award, a Soul Train Music Award, 2 honorary doctorate from Berkeley and Cal Arts. I mean, she's been doing it. I mean, all the way since she was like 5 years old. She was performing as a violinist with the Chamber Music Society in Oregon. She's self-taught and trained other instruments like guitar and bass. And she earned academic scholarships to Portland State University and the Berklee College of Music. Both which she attended studying music. She has a bunch of albums. Well, her first album was Junjo in 2006. Came on a Spanish label, which is an independent label, also with Heads Up. This was a self-titled album. She got a bunch more, though. But let me tell you a little bit more about her. You know what I'm saying? For several years, she was performing and supporting band players, releasing her 5th studio album. She's done like 7 or 8 studio albums. I mean, she's banging you on the head with them. In addition to writing and performing music, she's also worked as an instructor, first at Berklee College of Music at age 20. In 2017, she was appointed professor of the practice of music at Harvard University, a position she resigned from in 2022. You know, when she first started as a young youth, she came up on the hard side of Portland streets, you know what I'm saying, in the King neighborhood. There's a lot of gang violence over there. But she also had juvenile arthritis, which caused her to be homeschooled. So she got to be home and still attended a little bit of school and got her learn how to play all these instruments. Now, she's been playing a bunch of instruments, going on tour with like Herbie Hancock and all types of jazz legends. She also plays electric bass, acoustic bass guitar, double bass, amplifiers, strings. She's a bad mamma jamma. Watch your mouth. All right. And she does some philanthropy also. She's down with a organization straight out of Washington, D.C. It's called Free the Slaves. It works on combating human trafficking around the world. So she's putting in that work too. But like I said, she's got like 8 albums y'all need to check out. Real smooth. 2 of my favorite is Crowned and Kissed, as you hear in the back, and Black Gold. So check the sister out. She goes by the name of Esperanza Spalding. All right, let's get back to the crew. Now we do. It's a Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Yes. You a fan of Esperanza Spalding?
So Esperanza Spalding is somebody I kind of have to put in the same category as like a Gary Clark Jr., like somebody whose musicianship that I really tremendously respect, and yet I own none of their music. But the couple of times that I've seen them both perform, they have been phenomenal. So like I really respect her as an artist and as a performer, but I'm not up on her music like that, to be honest.
I'm not up on the latest, but the song that Ear Doctor mentioned, Black Gold, was on my child music, my baby girl's music mix on the way to school for years type thing. And oh man, a few years ago, I read an interview with Spalding where she hit the minimum bar for me, which I was very happy with, because she was asked that one of those questions about her background. And it always feels like this is her invitation to whiteness is how I describe it. It was them, wanting to leave the door open for her to say something ultimately anti-black. That's the way I've always taken it when they say, well, talk to us about but she was very clear, and I thought it was brilliant. Her response she was clear on her Portuguese mother, but on the colonial relationship. I can't remember exactly what she said. I just remember walking away like, damn, that's what I'm talking about. It was like her analysis was matching her musical talent, and I loved it. And it was almost like to me, I read it as that unspoken, nah, I'm not, you can't get me. I know too much. So it was dope. So shout out to her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
But I would like to see her live. Yeah, you've seen her live though. That's dope.
Yeah, she actually I saw her kind of get approached in an interview at the Kennedy Center. And I can't remember who was the interviewer specifically. It might have been Rubenstein, the dude, right? The co-founder of the Carlyle Group. David Rubenstein's a big patron of the arts in DC, gives tens of millions of dollars. I think he's on the board of the Kennedy Center. And he was interviewing her. And I think he tried to hit her with some sideways anti-blackness. Like, don't you want to stomp on black people real quick? And she was like, nah. But like, and I remember that was my takeaway from that too. I was really impressed. I'm like, oh, look at her. She didn't fall for the okie doke. Like, okay, Esperanza.
You do get it. That is a feature of the mixed experience. They will come and be like, here's the door. You want to come on in? Come on to your whiteness. You can get a little bit.
You can come
on in. All you got to do.
The white man's ice is colder.
All you gotta do is kick a black one on, kick your black family on the way in, and you could just give them a good swipe, and you could come on in, and so it was nice to see her, because I know it's got to be difficult in those spaces. It's got to be difficult, and she was like, I was impressed. I was like, that's what's up. Good for you.
Yes, thank you, Ear Doctor. Thank you, Ear Doctor.
Right on. So, okay, we do have a couple more stories here that we can get to. Let me know if you have something that
not
piques your interest.
Not specifically. They actually they gonna fund the government. I was shocked. I said, okay, crackers.
Well,
way to go. Way to go, crackers. Y'all did it.
Well, that's good, because I'm going to see if I could force a connection here, but because this story from CNBC says 31% of millionaires say that they are a part of the middle class. people feel squeezed, advisor explains. So that's interesting. 31% of millionaires, only a small share of millionaires say they feel wealthy, according to a recent report. Persistent inflation has taken a toll on most Americans' financial security, making it harder to feel well off. What does it take to be rich? The short answer is more, said Jason Van DeLu, chief client officer of at Edelman Financial Engines. So, yeah, I guess roughly 60% of investors with $1 million or more of investable assets said they are more likely upper middle class, according to a recent Ameriprise financial survey of more than 3,000 adults. To that point, 31% consider themselves decidedly middle class.
No.
So it's good that they funded the government because everybody's, struggling, Kim. And, 31% of these millionaires feel stressed.
That is interesting. I see these commercials from time to time, especially in this area where, they're doing estate planning. And I think what the phraseology by the company, I can't remember what it said, but it was like, mini millionaires, or if you're a mini millionaire, we want to come and help you invest your assets because, it's depending on your level of professionalism. Like, for example, I have a relative who worked for the Army for 30 plus years. They have $1 million in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, they retired for 30 plus years also. And they do have $1 million in the bank. Now, they would consider themselves definitely not middle class. I think they would consider, I don't know what they would consider themselves actually. I don't know what bougie niggas consider themselves these days, but no, $1 million, you're rich. You may not be wealthy, but you're rich. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, where is that that income line demarcation where you start getting hit in the head more so for taxes? Is it $250,000 individual or household income where they really start banging you with taxes? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know vaguely of what you're talking about, but I have no idea where the line is. It's traditionally not been an issue, but I hear you. No, I don't know exactly where it is.
But these folks, when you sort of look at their itemized expenses and you look at the numbers at what they spend on what, or how much they spend on what, it's like, this is not real. Or let me rephrase. I won't say it's not realistic. This is a reality that I do not understand. Right? This is I don't understand, budgeting, $25,000 annually for vacations, or $30,000 for vacations, or you're factoring in the child's private schooling along with putting away for the college, and then your own retirement, and then your vehicles are $10,000 a month, and that's in maintenance and insurance and carpet. Like this is all shit. I ain't never seen that shit, smelled that shit, been close to that shit. Like, I can't understand it. So when you put it in that context of people who have all of this consumption, high levels of consumption going on, yeah, I could see how they would feel squeezed. But again, I don't understand that life.
Well, Obi says 648,000 is the top bracket. So if you're making 648 and up, you're apparently in the uppermost bracket. But I mean, all I can think of when I read that is that, if 31% feel that they are in middle class, they can kiss 31% of my ass. How about that? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's all. That's again. That is. I mean, so sure we can argue that it's. I'm sorry. That's white folks. That is white folks' perspective. Like, I do know wealthy black people. I'm sorry, rich black people. Like, I can't say wealth because wealth implies generational, and they're not wealthy. They are rich. And them niggas know they rich. I mean, they don't act like they poor, or they don't be like, oh, well, I could only get the 22 BMW. I couldn't afford the 23. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear the people talk like that. But like, you talk to like actual middle class white folks, they will actually very much claim poverty, right? And they will have insurance policies, they will have land and homes that their parents and grandparents have bequeathed to them. They will have a lot of shit and still think that they are poor because they're comparing themselves to the mega rich whites, the ultra rich whites. And it's like, your level of poverty is a level of comfort that my family has never known. You know what I mean? Like my family has never experienced what you consider just being, we're not rich, you know what I'm saying? My dad was a firefighter, Okay, but y'all got assets out the ass though. Like y'all not poor out here. You could put your hands on some money. If somebody got locked up, you can come up with bail, right? Anyway,
So I was trying to think who's on my roster of rich, and I think there's really only, well, two, and they're a couple. So I think, and I just got word that they were looking for BPM's Patreon link. So
oh shit, Nick and Maryland? Is it Nick and Maryland?
no,
I'm
it's
just
not
like,
Nick and
is it Nick and Marilyn Mosby?
No,
That's
it's
the
the other
wealthy
two.
couple. Those are the wealthy
Yeah,
couple you're friends with.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No. Yeah, no. And unfortunately, the Moors haven't called us lately either. Your buddy Wes and them.
Oh, well, Wes got his
So
hands full. The
yeah,
whites.
Wes
trying
is
to put him in
busy,
his
and you
place.
said he's about to take his first L. So
About to take his first L.
I should have hit him up last month.
First L. But see, the thing, the L's gonna be a little bit long time, but it's gonna be an L though. It's an L. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh yeah, the Mosbys should have hit them up last month too. I think I was late on that one too. But no, the other I think they really are. Yeah, we don't.
what they rich?
Oh, this, yeah.
Okay.
And to your point, one of them is literally one of my favorite people ever.
Oh, good.
And her partner, and they are very. I think they're very rich, and they have like a very nice approach to what you were just describing. They're polite in being able to say we did everything and go everywhere and have everything and can do everything. But it's pleasant. It doesn't feel it has never felt abusive. And if they're going to the Patreon, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I could put on my Kamau, do my Kamau routine and be like, yeah, bring it. You know what I'm saying? So,
they don't be trying to stunt on their poor friends. That's awesome.
No,
I'm glad.
they're actually really good people. So it's kind of a shock that because usually I do associate upper levels of income with lower levels of principle. But
yes, of course.
Somehow they found like a little, I don't know, a little sweet spot in there, I guess. But okay. Now listen. So we missed a story. I don't know if you all got to this, but it wasn't crossed off on the run sheet, and I know I missed it. But this looks so Israel under attack, an open letter. And the way Erica, it came out last month, but the way Erica has it in the run sheet, it's asking us, in fact, let me just read it. Celebrity and creatives show support for Israel. Are your faves listed there? So as we scroll down to see all of the Gal Gadot, Jamie Lee Curtis's, Chris Pines, Liv Schreiber's, Amy Schumer, Michael Douglas, Jerry Seinfeld, Mark, all these people, I'm going to be boycotting their work, but I see Antoine Fuqua.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
If I have the gist of this letter and the intent of this letter correct, this is something that people signed to express that the hostages get released. Do I have that right? Like, I think it was something very specific. It wasn't just broad as we support Israel. We're going to put it. No, I think it was something specific to the extent like we were signing our names to this letter because we want the release of the hostages.
Well, thank you for checking that. Let me read at least the intro paragraph here. More than 2,000 leaders from the entertainment industry have signed an open letter released by the nonprofit entertainment industry organization Creative Community for Peace in support of Israel. The open letter calls on entertainment community to speak out forcefully against Hamas, to support Israel, to refrain from sharing misinformation about the war, and to do whatever is in their power to urge the terrorist organization to return the innocent hostages to their families. So the letter comes in response to Hamas's heinous terrorist attack on Israel, in addition to the 1,200 Israelis murdered, citizens of the U.S., UK, Canada, France, Thailand, Nepal, Russia, Ukraine, Cambodia, Germany, Philippines, Chile, Brazil, Italy, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, and Ireland have been identified as either missing or killed. So I think, so to your point, there was some specifics there. I think also what would be, I think somewhat of a response would be that it's makes no mention of the occupation, no mention of Palestinians, no mention of, I know this is in the initial days after October 7th, but no mention of some sort of measured response, and only focuses again on what is said to have been done by Hamas. So I admit, so I'll just leave it there.
So I have questions. So, like,
Okay.
again, this is all speculative and at the risk of sounding ignorant, because I really don't know. Like, the complaints I've heard or the observations or whatever about the top Hollywood brass. Hollywood is controlled by the Jews. Okay, I don't know if Hollywood is controlled by the Jews. Okay, I know there's a lot of influential Jewish folks that work in Hollywood. Are to your knowledge, are they Zionists, or does that go without saying? In this particular industry, or they just rep their hood. they just rep their beliefs, but not necessarily espousing Zionism, even though this letter seems to do exactly that. But never mind. Maybe I just answered my own question.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, to the best of my knowledge, I do equate the class position and the political function of those who are well placed within Hollywood to be supportive of the politics of the state. And the politics of the state demand adherence to support for Israel and Zionism. So I don't often see any attempt to distinguish among the Jews in Hollywood from their Jewishness and Zionism. So in other words, they seem to all be, and whenever something happens, this seems to be the response. So, but to your exact point, I don't know the exact position. And now there was an article, I used to use this, maybe I'll look for it real quick. In 2006, there was an LA Times article written it was meant to be taken tongue in cheek, but it was written by a Jew, and it was about the fact, it was addressing this question of Jews in Hollywood. And the point of the article was, the author was saying, yes, Jews run Hollywood, and you in America should thank us for it. And the point of the article was, and he did go through all the Jews that were placed, positioned in positions of ownership and high ranking. And his point in the article was, unfortunately, not to do what I think should be done, which is to go through the particular political economic history as to why Jews have been situated in that sector of the economy, which I think would help clarify some things. But his point was to simply say, yeah, we're there, and you should thank us, because without Hollywood, the United States would have no culture. It would have no pop culture. It would have no entertainment. And oddly, I think he's right, because in a sense, the history of American pop culture is intimately connected with the mimicry of Black performance and the attempt to reproduce Black performance by whites. And then because of the way the class element in the history of the development of pop culture, the elite whites, the WASPs in particular, were happy to let Jews and the lesser Europeans take over what would become Hollywood and vaudeville, because they were like, as long as you don't come around our opera and our whatever, you all can have all of that. And they receded. That is, the elite receded. So the pop culture of the United States was developed on the back of performance of Blackness by whites and others and Black people, and then control of the industry by Jews who have a particular history that we've covered elsewhere that talks about why they ended up in that sector of the economy, or the sector of the society, producing the pop culture that WASPs never have produced. That's why everything in the United States culturally is a hodgepodge of what everyone but Gentiles have produced. Anyway, that's my quick best way to summarize my views on it. But
yeah, I can see that. I mean, because obviously I credit non-white people as the generators of what is considered to be American culture by and large. Like, with some exceptions, but even the stuff that white people take credit for, like country music and bluegrass, Black people did that shit first and usually better. But regardless, But so I look at the Jewish influence on that machine as sort of like the distribution engine, right? They weren't necessarily the talent generating engine. Like they helped to I guess expose the talent, put the talent out on the stroll, so to speak. But they themselves weren't the talent, right? But I guess there is a certain talent.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no.
To produce and distribute and do put the infrastructure in place that allows artists' music to be mass consumed. So I guess if that's the contribution, that's not an insignificant contribution. Actually,
But actually, I mean, yes and no. I mean, there were a lot of Jews who were performers in vaudeville and Broadway, or what would become Broadway, who were early performers in film. Al Jolson famously, and others that. And when we went through with Roan Frazier the Empire of Their Own book, there were other Jews. There were prominent Jews who as performers, but in general, the goal was, to your point, I think, or at least part of your point. The goal has always been to produce a Gentile, a WASP white, who can perform some version of non-whiteness and often blackness. That's why we keep getting, so that the classic, and I keep, rest in peace, Greg Tate, Everything But the Burden, that classic anthology of essays on this is, I think, perfect for this, but in many ways. But the desire to have, so even Jews perform the function of finding Gentiles who could be the superstar whites performing a version of Eastern European, Black, something else. But never were they bringing like elite British, German, French cultural behavior or performance to this. It was all a bastardization of what Jews or Irish or Black people in particular were doing. But they had to have, we got to have a Justin Bieber doing it. We got to have an Adele doing it. We got to have, I don't know, whoever else is out there right now. But that's always the goal in this country, to get, and Jews will help with that and have been tasked with helping with that for a long time. So
the buffers.
Yeah, I mean, so. An Empire of Their Own is a great book for if you read it with a particular political lens for uncovering that history. So I would encourage that among others. And Leah Cohen, I just saw, Ricky, the oof, God. So Kim, it's the Remix Friday here on a Thursday. What do you have coming up this weekend, or anything you want to let us know about or prepare us for, or alert us to might be happening?
What's the date? Let's say today
is Thursday the 16th, November 16th. A high of 66 degrees if you're in the DMV apparently today.
I'm going to be assembling my Turkey Day ingredients and list. Wow, right. I don't know what happened, y'all. The holiday is next week.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who's been looking at their calendar every day, and who knew this? Who was aware of this information? Yeah. Y'all didn't tell the rest of us. Nobody else knew. Nobody knew.
That's a good point.
So my contribution to the Turkey Day meal is mac and cheese, but it slaps. I mean, I can't even. I know. I will brag on my mac and cheese, but it's not my recipe. So let me ease back on the bragging a little bit and give credit to the person whose recipe it is. It's the Kitchenista's baked mac and cheese recipe. The Kitchenista had this recipe posted on her website for years, and in fact, I think she has taken it down because it must do numbers. It must do absolute numbers when the holiday season rolls around. So I think actually the Kitchenista has a Patreon. If you guys are interested in that recipe, it is a very good recipe, by the way. You make a bechamel, you make a little roux. It's really good. So that's my contribution to Turkey Day, is the baked mac and cheese. So I got to start assembling my ingredients because it's a multi-layered process. But I mean, what do y'all do Turkey Day? Or y'all do cauliflower day? What y'all do?
No, we do. And for me, it's a regular meal because there's no vegan version that
tofurkey. There's no tofurkey.
We don't do no. I'm on my own. But what I do have to do is prepare this year's 30 to 60 second protest speech before the dinner that I'm allowed to give. Like, I have my little moment where I'm like, this is whack. I wish we could gather like this for other reasons. I don't know why we need this genocidal holiday for us to have a meal together.
Is this what passes for the blessing of the food? Is this
that's basically, and then everybody's like, all right, pass the plate. It is basically what it is.
Everybody
exactly
bow
that.
your heads.
Yeah, bow your head and suffer this for 30 seconds.
Grievances for about 60 seconds. Everybody bow your heads. Your tofurkey is not going to get cold. It's going to be okay.
That's what I need to. I'm taking that name. Bow your head for Jared's airing of the grievances. Yes, yes. I gotta. Yeah. So that's about it. But yeah. But you're right. I haven't. Wow. You're right. It's next week.
But does it take a lot of ingredients to assemble a vegan? Like you're not thawing a turkey, you're not brining.
Oh no! I'm just there's always, first of all, my wife's Panamanian, so there's always some rice. There's always going to be some rice. Okay. There's always going to be some platanos. There's always going to be some. Those are the staples. There's always going to be. There might be a vegan version of hojaldra or something like that, but no, but and then I'll get
hojaldra. What's that?
It's like it's fried dough. It's like everybody has a version of it. It's like a fried pocket of bread, and sometimes they put cheese in it. And
empanadas.
And it's similar to that, but it's different.
A pupusa? It's like a pupusa.
No, it's more like what do I want to call it? It's like it's not I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to think of the equivalent. We all like, there's other like it would be like a nice a really unhealthy biscuit. There's no meat in it. At most, you might get cheese in it. It's just like a fried pocket of bread or dough.
Okay.
And no, it's not an empanada. People keep putting empanadas in it. It's not an empanada.
Because what you're describing sounds a lot.
I know. I'm not doing a great job. Like a fried dumpling. Yeah, there you go. That's the comparison I'm looking for. Without the cheese. So it's terribly unhealthy, but it is technically vegan.
Okay.
So yeah, so there'll be, and then I usually think of it as like a really what I think of it is like Wiener Schnitzel, except that tastes like pancakes as opposed to chicken, which Wiener Schnitzel tasted like. So it's like a flat. Anyway, yeah. So there'll be all that. There'll be some salad dish. There'll be, I'll be good. There'll be some noodles, something without meat or something in it. And we'll make it work. So, but yeah. Anyway, come back tomorrow for EYL. Good people. Make sure you have the bell rung for everything else. We do have an outro break from the ear doctor. He laced us for a little something. And thanks everybody for another great week at the Remix. And I think something else is happening Friday too. What is? I think Kalaji's doing something tomorrow after EYL. Something's coming up. Let me look here real quick. No, Sharice Burden-Stelly looks like is that tomorrow? Yeah, that's tomorrow. She's gonna be here with Black Miss.
That's what's up. Shout out Dr. CBS. Let's get it.
And then Warrior Class on Saturday. Coco featuring on Warrior Class Saturday. And there is something today. No, that is today. Root Work. Later today with Tonda Seasway.
Very nice.
So make sure you got the bell rung and you don't miss everything. All right, everybody. Let's let the ear doctor take us out. Peace if you're willing to fight for it, like Fred Hampton used to say. Thanks again, Kim. See you all tomorrow and throughout the BPM platform. Peace.
Thanks to your as I start tip, the Mozo Ali said, damn chick, what you try so far for? Wow,
Once again, welcome out to Sundays Radio. We doing some hip hop. Let's go.
Walk a fine chalk line and put the needle to the grind. Representing one kind, see an eye for the blind. Witness what I carry on bears a further purpose. From how we do slam a few, then you wanna purchase a dialogue of funk. You love to pop it in your trunk. I win more discipline than the Shaolin monk. Pete Rock and CL, well set to spark it. The powerful target to destroy the black market. But when you say black, listen, I don't know, you lose me. I guess another beggar can't afford to be choosy. I come to the maximum, artist on the major label. Any duplication of this one is fatal. On 125, I gotta hit your line. Beat your ass with my tape, any race or shape. Cause if they got mine, they got yours too. But together, here's what we gotta do. Yeah. You know, say what?
Hey, yo, stud, bust. Step to the rear, Grand Poo was on arrival. Raised in the ghetto, singing songs called survival. Running around town, giving all the girls food but snacks. I wouldn't try to steal a style, you just break up some party. Figured the way to get paid is to grab the mic for Haitian, no. Smooth as Jermaine, so honey, don't take it personal. There's no need in trying to diss the swinger. Baby, all you get is 2 snaps up in the finger.